What's up, Sally? Sally, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was trying to unmute. How are you?
How you doing?
Yeah, did I mute?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. How are you?
I said, I am blessed. How are you doing?
Oh, okay. We're blessed and we're getting there. We're getting through it.
Were you affected by the hurricane?
We will be. Oh yeah.
What
Uh,
do you mean,
just
will be?
trying to get prepared. It's gonna be a humdinger. No, we got another one coming.
Is another one?
Yes, sir. The first one
Dang.
we got through, and we were fine. Just had some rain and the power went out. This one here is gonna be a humdinger. So they're looking at possibly a cat 2 or 3, um, if not more,
When is it supposed
because
to,
it has potential to be a 5.
when is it supposed to hit?
Wednesday.
Are
But,
you
yeah, so we've been getting rain most of the day, not real bad. So I'm quite sure it's going to pick up tomorrow, Tuesday, and it should be rolling up in here sometime Wednesday morning.
are you leaving?
Oh, no. I thought about it, but no, we guess it's too. I don't know. Just kind of got too much baggage, bad timing, animals, well, 2 cats. But and then of course we're besides coming up there to California, any family, they've already been affected. If we get on the road, I mean, at time we haven't talked about it yet, but if we were going to leave, it'd have to be at least by, tomorrow night or something like that. So at this point here, we just gotta hunker down, got things
I would
um
recommend, I'd
tied
recommend,
down.
I'd
Hmm.
recommend, I recommend getting on the road. You ain't got to come all the way out to California. You just got to get far away enough from the impact of the hurricane so it passes. That's all.
Yeah, I've done that before, and or tried to, and it seemed like I had more issues with it being on the road and you're in the wide open, and not trying to talk myself out of it, but I remember leaving here one year when Ivan was coming. And that was after going through 2 hurricanes already back to back. And I said, I will not stay through another one. So, me and my daughter, we went up to Natasha. You haven't met her. We went up to Atlanta, Georgia, and just to get away from it. And then, of course, after we got there, it bypassed Florida and was headed up to Georgia where we were.
Of course.
And I had,
So look, it's not about going north. You got to come west. You got to get out of the path of not just the hurricane, but the storm that comes after.
yeah. Well, we're seeing it's coming in. It's coming in on the west side this time, southwest. So it's going to hit, it's supposed to hit up in Tampa, but it's going to affect all of Florida.
Okay,
One side
but
is
is
one
it is
side's
it
going to get the wind, the other side's going to get the storm surge.
is it going to hit Texas?
They didn't say anything about Texas this time.
Yeah. So, like I said, you ain't got to come all the way to California. You just got to go
Hmm.
further west out of the storm path.
Yeah. Well, we're still gonna talk about it. Try to see, if that's the case, which mm, which path we should take.
But this is Milton.
Yes, this is Milton.
Yeah, Milton is sitting in the Gulf of Mexico.
Hmm.
So I wonder did it go through damn, and then there's another one behind it, Leslie.
Yep.
See, this is why I can't live. I can't live
Yeah.
wherever there's a season of destruction. I can't live in the Caribbean. I can't live nowhere in Florida.
Nah.
And look, and I definitely now can't live in Georgia, Alabama,
Hmm.
Mississippi,
The Midwest too.
um, North Carolina, South Carolina, because they got wrecked.
Yes, they get them big time. And I was like, you know what? That's why, I guess I was impressed to just go on and get something in Africa because that's where they all coming from anyhow. So y'all gonna let my people go, and it just seem like that's where all of this, all of the storms coming from Africa, it hits along the route of all the slave trades,
Hmm.
all of that, you know, and but I was hoping I would be up out of this piece before now, before all of this took place. But apparently, I'm still hanging around. Uh, but anyhow, we'll see. This one here, if we get through the pro, we'll get through it. We gonna get through it. But it's just dealing with it, and it's like um, we were tying down things and getting prepared for getting on the other side of my gate up in the back and securing everything. So we shall see.
Hmm.
Bring the cats in and
I wish you the best, always. Hey, Michael, what's going on?
How you doing? What's happening?
Oh man, I am blessed.
Great day
Um,
to be alive.
hi
every
Mike.
every day, most
How
definitely.
you doing?
Good.
So, to let you know, Sally, um, Mike is has joined or is joining one of our investment clubs.
Congratulations, Mike. Nice to hear it.
Can you hear us, Mike?
What'd you say?
I was just saying
Go ahead, say it again.
congratulations. Oh, you got your ear to the camera. Okay, let me
Oh,
say it loud. Okay.
I'm
No,
sorry. What'd you say
no,
again?
that's okay. Because I that was telling me you didn't hear what I said. And I just
No,
said congratulations to joining one of our um whatever it is. So I'm saying congratulations for being a part of our
Investment club.
team. Yes.
that's great. Thank you so much. Look forward to participating.
Yes.
And so and to that fact, Mike, so I got um um and AML, anti-money laundering documents. And did I send you the link for the courses for the
No, you haven't given me the chapters to read
Mike? Can
yet.
you, okay, all right. And I do apologize. I've been swamped with some other stuff dealing with overseas. Um, and I will get that out to you tonight though. I'll get it out to you tonight. Um, so are you on Facebook?
Yeah, I can get to Facebook. Yes,
All right.
but
So,
just send it to you. Don't have to send it. Just send it to me by email. That's the best way.
okay. All right. No problem. But I'm just want to let you know there's a Facebook group called the BNIC Network, and
Okay.
the modules are in that group. And so I'll send you the link to be able to get to them.
Yeah.
And the first two are really straightforward. Um, they're but they both have um, digital workbooks that you can download. So some people are they learn by writing. Some are visual, some are audio, right? And so this
Right.
workbook, well, because these workshops were originally intended to be in person, small group workshops. Um, and And because of that, there are workbooks, um, and each person's workbook is going to be different because each person's situation is tailored to to what they're going through, and what their risk tolerance is, and what their financial independence number is. But by going through the workbook, it teaches you how to calculate your financial independence number. It teaches you to understand, oh, okay, not only is this what financial independence is, but this is the factors that, and this is how I determine what my financial independence number is, because over your life it may change because situations change, right? Um, but once you know what that number is, that's your destination number, right? That's how much income producing assets do I need to acquire in order for to generate enough cash flow so I can afford to live the way I want without having to work. Now, you're in a unique situation because you're already retired, right?
Yes, I did last year, first year.
Yeah. So, um,
That's correct.
so you've already beat most of us, right? But according to the what you want to do now that you're retired and the lifestyle that you want to live, you may say, well, I'm getting so much from my pension and retirement funds, but I want to grow that, and so I can have more cash flow, right? And so
That's correct. Yes.
there you go. See, and so it's gonna talk about that, and so um, after you go through the module, I recommend you do download the workbook, and if you can print it out, it's even better. Um, but I'm going to want to after you go through the session, and the session is like 20 minutes long. But after you go through it, I really want to have a one-on-one session with you because you are truly unique, and I want to see how um, the asset accumulation plan, how that works for you already being retired, already receiving some income, but still wanting to grow that. That's a unique scenario that I didn't necessarily plan for, and so I want to see if the Excel spreadsheet is applicable for you as is, or if I need to tweak it. So,
Oh, okay, that'd be great. Yeah.
so the first one, yeah. So the first one is what is financial independence, and the second one is self-discipline. And so I tell people I can help anybody come up with a plan to be financially independent. The question is, are you going to stick to it? Because if you don't have the self-discipline to stick to it, then you just wasted everybody's time. Um, and so it talks about habits and the difference between a goal and an objective, and how you change habits, how you create new habits. It talks about the importance of a support group, and the investment club can definitely become that. Um, and then at the very end, because I'm spiritual, it talks a little bit about manifestation and believing in yourself, and walking in your truth and walking in faith. Um, and so that's the self-discipline part. Again, that one's maybe 10, 15 minutes long. The third one, you have to schedule with me. The third one is live. The third one is how to evaluate an investment opportunity. That is usually like an hour, hour and a half. Um, you have a workbook. Um, oh, and at the end of these, you have to take a quiz and get at least 70%. On the first two, it's real simple. On this third one, um, it is it's harder because you've got to truly understand how to evaluate risk, how to identify risk, how to categorize it, how to identify it, how to manage it and mitigate it. Because this is the fundamental of us being able to declare you as a sophisticated investor. And a sophisticated investor, the SEC says, is anyone or a non-accredited investor who has the education or the experience to be able to properly evaluate the risks associated with an investment. And so that's what I teach you. You get a 70% on that. And now the BNIC network classifies you as a sophisticated investor. And we've got the recording of you going through the class. We got the curriculum. We got the test results. Got all of that in case the SEC ever comes and questions. Why did you designate him as a sophisticated investor, right? And so we say, because this is why. Because we trained him, right? And that's
got the proof, yeah.
Right? And
Right.
so, yeah, oh yeah. It's like, look, I am pro-Black. I understand that there are forces out there that don't want Black people to go forward. And the same, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they ain't after you. So we dot our I's, cross our T's, and we're always on our P's and Q's. Okay. But then once you pass that module and you're labeled a sophisticated investor, then we can present investment opportunities to you. Then you're able to, fund your contribution account, and then you're able to be an active investor. So,
oh, that's great.
Yep, yep. And our focus right now is on the real estate in Detroit. And so we did our proof of concept in which we helped one of our clients buy a house in March of last year, put a tenant in it a year ago, November of 23. The new is coming up here in a month. And so we'll go through that process with the property manager and the housing commission. And we sold part of the equity in our client's LLC. She was trying to sell 75,000. She sold 30,000 through a replacement offering that we did. And it was one of our investment club members who invested 30,000. And then we offered it initially through a crowdfunding platform. And I found out that is not an efficient way to do this. It is it's cost prohibitive, let me say, for the small amounts that we are raising. If we would have raised the whole 75,000 through the crowdfunding site, we'd have paid like $5,000. And that's we'd have paid less if we would have sold it through a realtor for 75,000. They charge 6% commission, type of thing. So, and it requires a lot of effort on our part of social media marketing. And honestly, we just weren't set up for it. And so through the crowdfunding site, I think we got $5,000 worth of commitments, what they call subscriptions, but we had to hit at least 15,000 in order to just break even. And so it was 15,000 or more or nothing. And so we got nothing, but I have the contact information of the people who wanted to buy. And so I'll be contacting them this week, letting them know, sorry that we didn't reach our minimum on the crowdfunding offering, but we still have our private placement offering. But in order to take advantage of that, you have to be a member of one of our investment clubs. And then I will show them the process of doing that. And hopefully they'll join. Um, and so the the whole thing about selling the equity of our client's LLC, um, that was our really our first attempt to practice cooperative group economics. Okay, because what we did is we took the LLC and we broke it up into $500 chunks to where people could buy part of the LLC um, in $500 chunks, and they would receive a proportionate share of the net operating income on a quarterly basis. Um, right now, that would be about an 8.5% annual return. Um, they would also receive when my client sells the property, they would receive a proportionate share of the profit also on the back end. Okay. Um, and so the idea and concept are good. I think some people liked it. It's just again, the crowdfunding process is it's difficult. It's not easy. It's not easy from the sponsor, the person who owns the property that's trying to raise the fund. Um, it is not easy at all. It is actually, from an administrative viewpoint, more difficult than these other types of offerings that are $1 million offerings. Um, but the forms that you have to fill out, it's let's just say you have to fill out a form C for crowdfunding. Our Form C was 66 pages long. It is, and that is basically 90% of what it would be required for us to go public. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Look, versus these other um, um, offerings and exemptions that target strictly accredited investors is 6 pages long. It's called Form D. It's 6 pages long, and if you don't want to disclose your financials, you don't have to. I was like, wow. Now, the SEC says, well, we do all this to protect the regular consumer because they're not as knowledgeable as accredited investors. Accredited investors should know better. I I don't buy that. I think it's just a way to continue to put roadblocks up to the average person being able to invest in the same type of investments that rich white folks do, to put it bluntly. And so that's why we created the BNIC network. And that's why we have our investment club and we have our network of investment clubs. And we practice self-dealing and the whole 9 yards because of the loophole that we currently found in the SEC rules and regulations where they don't have any oversight over us, right? Um, until they change the rules.
There you go.
R-
I mean,
Right.
that's what the Europeans do all the time. They find all those little loopholes, boy, and they use them all.
Yep.
They use them until they seal them shut, for sure.
And so we're now playing chess, trying to stay 6 or 7 steps ahead. So as we get bigger and as we get on the radar of the SEC, and the SEC, no, the first thing they're going to say is, "Oh, Michael Evans, you're in violation of our rules and regulation." Then my attorneys be like, "No, he's not. Let's go to court," right? And when they get to court, they're going to be like, "Okay, well, I guess we got to change some of these rules and regulations." By that time, we will have changed our structure again to stay ahead of it. Right?
Hmm.
Like I said, we're playing chess, and so God works in mysterious ways, and God's timing is always on time. And so
Hmm.
Sally can testify that we've been at this since 2001. January 2001 is when Sally and I were involved in forming our very first investment club.
Two,
Um,
2000,
half of
2021.
Hmm?
Let me see. Okay, 2020, 21.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
2020, 2021. Yes.
yeah.
Um, and it was half people was in California, half the people was in Detroit, and we would meet every Sunday
Mm-hmm.
for like an hour or two. You know, I'm very oriented, and I am all about creating structure and plans and executing those plans and strategies, tactics, all of that, right?
Right.
And we didn't get anywhere after a whole year because the people on the ground in Detroit who were supposed to execute some things, they wasn't there to execute. It was there to try to get some money out of the California people. And it was sad. And so at the end of 2021, I disbanded it. And in 2022, um, that's when I took a different tact and um, created the BNIC Network LLC, which is a subsidiary of my holding company. And Sally is an investor in the holding company from 2020, right? Um, and But then in February, January of 2022, um, a pipe broke under the foundation of my house, and we had to move out. We was out of the house for until August, right? So things were kind of chaotic. Didn't have an opportunity to spend a lot of time on this business. And then we moved back into the house in August, and 3 weeks later, another pipe broke underneath the
Don't forget
concrete.
to take out the trash cans.
And but around that time, I did start back to focusing on it. And October of 2022, I signed the contract with Pam Pollard. She was our first client, lives in LA, never been to Detroit, has never owned investment real estate, but she took a leap of faith with us. Um, and, you know, like I said, she is the proof of concept. And um, I go through this level of detail and I talk about timing because, and Sally can tell you, at the end of 2021, I was so frustrated. I was really, really frustrated, right? Because I was like, man, we didn't wasted this whole year. I had it lined up where we were going to do a proof of concept with a modular built home on a vacant lot. Um, and and yeah, I was really frustrated, but um, it wasn't time yet. And now, when I look back and I see that it wasn't time, and I look at where I'm at now, like this summer has been incredible. The opportunities that I've been given to learn more things about private banking, which is how the real world moves, how rich white folks dominate us because of private banking and because of the opportunities that it presents that regular folks don't have, period. Right? You got to have millions of dollars in order to take advantage of some of the investment opportunities, and then they become risk free. It's some of these are truly amazing. Sorry about that. I've got one of my um, colleagues calling me real quick. I got to give him a message. I have six. So I will give you an example. I went to Vegas yesterday and to meet with the real estate developer that I've been dealing with for the last, man, 30, 40 days. Um, he has inked a licensing deal with one of the most famous, iconic luxury brands in the world. Okay. And through this, he has entered into an agreement to build 12 mega resorts throughout the world with this luxury brand. The first is going to be in Las Vegas. And so he is also has negotiated a contract to buy 300 acres of prime real estate on the strip for $300 million. That's $10 million an acre, okay? Which is actually cheap compared to the Fontainebleau, which is the newest hotel on the strip. Those people paid $22 million an acre. Another one paid down the street paid as much as $53 million per acre. So he got the deal relatively cheap, but it's still $300 million. And he has got an earnest money deposit. Here's the beautiful thing. Real estate transactions are basically the same, no matter whether the house is $40,000 or whether it's a resort for $9 billion. The process is the same. So he's supposed to put down an earnest money deposit, um, but he didn't have the cash, right? He's been, got struck this licensing deal over the summer, and he's been scrambling, trying to put together all this money. And so, you know, long story short, he needs $15 million, right, to secure not only the Vegas location, but also one in Miami. And so um, this presents an opportunity for hard money loan lenders, right? So he has some backers that have committed, $1 billion to $3 billion, right? Of the equity position in the development phase. But they're overseas. And so it takes a while for that money to get over here. In the meanwhile, he needs this loan, or else he's going to have to pay a $5 million fee. And so he's willing to pay a lot in interest. And he's like, look, if you can give me a $15 million loan, I'll pay 20% interest because I only need a loan for 6 months. So it's a 6-month bridge loan that pays 20% interest. So on $15 million, that's $3 million worth of interest over 6 months. But here's the kicker. He said, "Oh, and one of my financiers who's going to invest at least $1 billion, she'll put up a bank guarantee for the loan, right? So the guarantee is for the principal and the interest. So she's putting up a guarantee for $18 million. Now, this account has over $3 billion in it. So a guarantee of, 18 billion ain't a lot of money for her, right? And the guarantee um, is really straightforward. But the guarantee is like a cashier's check that's blank, a blank cashier's check for $18 million. Whoever has that bank guarantee has the equivalent of $18 million. Okay. So the transaction goes like this. The lender and borrower both sign the promissory note. The borrower now takes the promissory note, gives it to the woman's bank, who's going to write the bank guarantee. Takes them about 5 business days to do that. In the meantime, the lender puts $15 million in escrow. Okay. Now, once the bank guarantee, it sends the bank guarantee to escrow. Escrow confirms receipt and it verifies the validity of the bank guarantee. Once it does that, now there's a swap. Escrow releases the $15 million to the borrower, and then it gives the bank guarantee to the lender. So the lender just, gave $15 million for an $18 million guarantee. You guys follow me so far?
So far, yes.
All right. So here's the beautiful thing that I learned about private banking and these instruments, because that's all the bank guarantee is an instrument. The bank guarantee says if in 6 months this person has defaulted on the loan, we'll give you $18 million. It's that simple, right? And so according to what financial institution that you're with, you can now take that bank guarantee and you can deposit it into your business account. And then you say, hey, Mr. Financial Institution, I just deposited a bank guarantee, which is as good as cash. Can I get a loan against that, please? And watch how this works. So they know that the money is good, right? All has to do with which bank it comes from. This one's coming from Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group, part of the Mitsubishi Auto Company, out of Singapore. And so if you get an 85% loan to value loan against that $18 million bank guarantee, you will get a loan for a little bit over $15 million.
Oh, wow.
You see how that works?
Against the bank guarantee. Yeah, gosh.
Is that so? Look, so now what happened now is you get a little bit over 15 million. That replaces the 15 million that you loaned. That difference is basically profit, upfront profit. Okay. Because here's what happens. Here's the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is in 6 months, they don't pay back any of the money. Your bank now has the bank guarantee as collateral. So what does it do? It cashes it. It gets $18 million. Because remember, you got a $15 million loan out. It's going to pay off the balance of the loan, and then it's going to give you the difference, which would be around $3 million. Is that slick or what?
That's
That is.
yeah, absolutely. That's wild. Crazy.
But you understand,
Can't keep
but
up
you
with that
understand you got
thing.
to, right? But you
Yeah,
understand you got to
God.
have $15 million, right?
yeah. I mean, well,
So
that's how they continue to get richer.
of course, because that is a zero risk investment.
Yeah,
Where else can you earn 20% in 6 months with no risk?
exactly.
But yet, this is the type of stuff that private bankers do all day. Private equity. Um,
That is interesting.
oh
So the person who
man,
puts up bank guarantee in your bank, you get a $15 million against that 18 million bank guarantee. And then at the end of 6 months, everything goes right. What happens? The bank guarantee goes back to Mitsubishi.
correct. Right. So if the borrower pays the 15 million, pays the $3 million in interest, then you return, basically the bank guarantee gets voided because the loan has been satisfied.
Hmm.
But what about the 15 million you got against the bank guarantee?
Well, so since you got paid $18 million, you use part of that $18 million to pay off your loan.
Oh,
So then what that leaves you with $3 million
Yep.
profit.
Mm-hmm. So look,
That's not too shabby.
that's the most basic strategy. The most basic strategy, right? You just because what you're all you're doing is you're leveraging it once.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if you are dealing with a person that knows how to trade notes, because that's an art in and of itself, buying and trading notes, in a 6 month period, that note can be traded 20, 30, 40 times. And every time it's traded, it generates a commission. And if you're in the middle of that, you can earn commissions just off of trading the same note back and forth between people.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So, mm. Well, the thing is,
And just
just trying to keep up with it and don't get lost in all of that. So just from the commission alone, um, you'd be sitting pretty.
yes.
And
So
then those that are actually um buying the notes or whatever, I would think. So they're the one that's going to be on the sling for uh, paying back that note. That's correct. Am I missing something?
no, no. So remember, that note is good as cash. So
Right.
so that note says, hey, we're going to pay $18 million if the person defaults. And
Mm-hmm.
so I might sell that note for 17.5 million dollars. No, no, wait. Yeah, I'll sell that note for $17.5 million. And which means I get $17.5 million in cash now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I sell it to Sally for 17.5 million. Sally, professional note trader, knows that she can sell it to Mike Simpson for 17 million, right? Because Mike is like, sure, I'll pay 17 million in order to get paid 18, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, Sally makes $500,000 on the difference. Okay. Mike,
Mm-hmm.
Mike may find somebody who is willing to pay 16 and a half. And so that's so look, the average mortgage, so I was at an event at the Gathering Spot, Black Social Club in LA, and they were talking about private equity. And there's a woman who's an expert in note trading. She said your average $300,000 mortgage over its lifetime will generate more than $1 million in trading fees.
Mm-hmm. So that's why they're always selling your mortgage to other.
Yes,
Okay.
always,
Always.
always,
Okay.
because there's so much money in selling paper,
Yeah.
and they literally make money out of nothing.
Wow.
Oh man, it's but you got to have money. You got to have money to play that game.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, what we are doing is we're going to allow people to participate in those type of investment opportunities by pooling money together from different investment clubs. So, for example, the $15 million loan, we got to raise $15 million in a very short time by the end of the month. And in fact, we got to come up with $2 million by Tuesday as a deposit. So what we're doing is we're creating an equity fund in which No, the first fund will raise $2 million. Minimum investment is $1 million. So that is strictly for accredited investors. And it's for the super rich who have $1 million that they can invest and wait 6 months to get it back, plus
All the interest
25%,
that comes on. Yeah.
right? So there's
Yeah.
a certain population. And so we're creating three funds. Um, there are two $2 million funds, and then there's one $11 million fund. Um, but it's for accredited investors. Um, and again, it's risk-free because each loan, there'll be three loans, right? Two for 2 million and one for 11 million. But each loan has its own separate bank guarantee. Okay. Um, and so it's like, if you got it and it's not doing anything, it's an incredible opportunity. But at this time, unless you got $1 million, you can't participate. What'll happen in the future is as we get bigger and we have more investment clubs and more people, then we'll be able to say, hey, we're raising $1 million or we're raising $2 million for this fund. And here's how much, and it'll automatically be calculated with how the maximum amount that each person can put in, right? Because we'll go through 3 rounds of funding. And so let's say we're raising 2 million, and right now, when we add up everybody's contribution account, it totals $4 million. All right, $4 million sitting in the investment club, and we need to raise 2 million. So what that means is every member can contribute up to half of their contribution account toward this investment opportunity. So I may only have $1,000 in my account. Sally's got 10,000, and Mike has 100,000, right? So I can contribute 500 maximum. Sally can contribute 5,000 maximum, and Mike can contribute 50,000 maximum. So we all have the same proportionate opportunity to invest in this opportunity, because whether you invest 500, 5,000, or 50,000, the return on investment as a percentage is exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we teach, right? It's not about the absolute dollar amount. It's about the return on investment as a percentage of what you invest and understanding how to keep growing that, right? Reinvesting profits. That's what compound interest is. Okay. And so let's say we go through this exercise, and the way it works or will work is you have to convince the members in your investment club at least 50% of the membership interest. And the membership interest is dictated by people's balances in their contribution account. Okay. So you gotta convince at least 50% of the membership interest to allow members to participate in this investment opportunity. So let's say I want to really participate in this investment opportunity. Michael don't care. Michael Simpson, he don't care. And Sally's like, yeah, I want to participate also. Well, Michael Simpson has 50,000 membership interest. Sally has 5,000. I got 500. So by far, Michael has the majority, which means me and Sally have to convince Mike to vote yes. The default position, yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is so the default position of all the members when we start is no. Default is no.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the rules for the SEC is that all members have to be active. This
Okay.
is one of the ways that you prove members are active. Okay, because you got to actively change your vote from no to yes. Okay,
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
and there's a 24-hour period. When the clock starts, that club has 24 hours for the majority of the membership interest to say yes. And then once they say yes, none of the members are obligated, but they have an opportunity. So me and Sally might invest, might like, no, I'm not interested, but I know you guys are, so I'm gonna vote yes. Okay. Um, so that's the first round. So let's say in the first round, we get $1 million of subscriptions. Okay. People saying, hey, I want to invest. And so what happens is that money gets locked up during this period. And it's a 72-hour period. So round one, we only get 50% of what we need. So now we go to round two. Round two is only open to those who subscribed in round one. And now there's no limit to how much they can invest. And it's first come, first serve, and there's a 24-hour clock. And so as people are now pledging more of the contribution account, you'll see the amount go up to the goal, and you'll see the clock ticking. Okay. So during round two, I may say, man, I'm gonna be all in. I'm gonna put another $500 in. Sally's like, I'm cool. I already put in what I wanted to put in. Mike, Mike cannot participate because he didn't participate in round one.
Oh.
All right. So there's a gamification aspect to this. So let's say at the end of round two, we get up to $1.9 million. We're still $100,000 short. And so round three is just for the parent investment club. And now the parent investment club has to decide, is it going to invest the balance? If it does, then everybody's subscription agreements turn into purchase contracts and the money is executed and then it's transferred to a what's called a special purpose vehicle. It's an LLC created just for that investment. And those who
Mm-hmm.
invest become limited partners. Okay. But if for whatever reason the parent investment club says, nah, something's changed, we're not going to invest, now they cancel everybody's subscription and that money gets freed up, but nobody invests.
Mm.
So
So in essence, the parent investment club has the last word.
it does. Now, but by the same token, if in round two we raised $2 million, then it ends there because they met the goal. It doesn't even go to
Mm-hmm.
round three. And if they did it in round one, right? So, but I mean, in order to do it in round one, every single member would have to contribute their allocation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay,
So,
that's round one.
yeah, I mean, the odds of that happening, especially as we get bigger, it's going to be smaller. And so that's when you're getting to round two. Round two is going to be interesting because round two will really tell you, is there people that really want to invest in this and they'll invest more than their allocation.
Mm-hmm.
And but I can tell you this, the parent investment club is not going to present investments that it doesn't believe in. We don't do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only reason why we wouldn't close the gap is if for some reason we didn't have the funds. That's the only reason.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Um, so, but yeah, we'll definitely not put up anything that we wouldn't invest in. That's 100% hypocritical.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and Sally is the treasurer of the BNIC Network LLC. So she's actually a member of the Parent Investment Club.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes that time, Sally gets the vote also.
Great.
There it is. Okay.
So, I think this was a good overview for you, Mike, to
A great
see.
overview. Yeah, that's a great overview. Yeah.
But our ultimate goal is to be able to allow the average person with as little as
Your
$120.
volume went down. Your volume went down.
Oh, did it? Can you still hear me?
I can hear you
No, not
now.
really.
Yeah.
Still a little bit
Oh,
better.
that's weird. Okay. Um, so the ultimate goal is to allow the average
There
person
it
with
is.
as little as $120 a year to invest to be able to invest side by side with multimillionaires
Oh,
on the same investment opportunities and receive the same return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's amazing.
Cooperative, right? We're talking about practicing it really the way it should be done. So,
Yeah, but isn't corporate economics kind of
They
anti-systematic
are.
in our system we live in as capitalism? One for one, pull it yourself by your own bootstraps.
oh yeah, so it's the opposite of capitalism, 100%,
Yeah.
right? And this is what I tell people, right? I'm a Black nationalist, and as such, when I do business within my Black community, I practice cooperative group economics, where my goal is not to maximize my profit, but to maximize the benefit to my Black community. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When I am interacting with people outside of my Black community, I'm a straight capitalist. I'm trying to take you for all you got.
Like they do us.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So,
So
um,
hypothetical question. Now I heard Kamala Harris, if she gets president, she's gonna build 3 million houses. Any way we can be in that opportunity?
oh yeah. So we're focused on Detroit. There's $1 billion worth of government funding that is in Detroit right now. $1 billion. $1 billion. We already have a plan to build 10,000 housing units over a 2.5 year period using modular homes and vacant lots. 1,000 units
Okay.
per quarter. So, um, yeah, and that's going to be the basis for building our Black owned and controlled, private, gated master plan communities.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that's really for those who want to stay over here in the United States and don't want to go back to Africa or go to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because as I tell everybody, I'm a MAGA fan. Make Africa great again.
Okay.
Make Africa great again. Make
Yep,
Africa great again.
make Africa great again.
That's
Oh,
right.
most definitely. So
Yeah.
so so when you're a student of world history, you can look at what the Japanese did in 40 years after World War II.
Oh
From
yeah, they really rebuilt. Yeah, they did something. Yeah, but we helped them do that though.
well, but also in the late 80s, well, so the Japanese culture decided as a culture that they were going to focus on building high-end, high-cost, high-quality electronics as and then they were going to build extremely cost-efficient automobiles.
Cars. Yeah.
Okay, those two things, right? Sony, Samsung, all right, those are the electronics. Honda, Toyota, those are the cars, right? But as
Mm-hmm.
a culture, that's what they decided to focus on. In the late 80s, they decided that they was going to buy up all the commercial property in the United States. Okay. And at least here in California, they was buying up Westwood and everything like that. And so um, I think probably for the first time in U.S. history, the U.S. decided to close some military bases, right? The Military Realignment Act of 1989, closed military bases. When in U.S. history has the government ever voluntarily cut back on military spending?
That's so real.
Because that put us into recession. Okay, this was economic warfare. So because Japan was pouring in all this money, trying to buy up all of our commercial real estate, U.S. said, all right, cool. You know what? We're going into recession. That's going to cause a higher vacancy rate on your commercial properties. Y'all ain't going to be able to cash flow. Y'all going to go bankrupt left and right. And that's what happened. And and Japan's economy went stagnant for 90, 30 years. 30 years. Economic warfare. Okay.
Wow.
Now let's move to China. So up until the mid and late 90s, China was an agricultural based economy. All right. They had 700 million people that were poor and worked out in the farms. They made a conscious decision that we are going to build the highest quality products for the lowest price. Doesn't matter what type of product it is. That's what we're going to be. Oh, and by the way, those 700 people out in the farms, we're going to bring them into the cities. We're going to educate them, and we're going to build up our cities and infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
And U.S., by the way, because now we're going to become your number one trading partner, right? And your companies are going to want to move their factories to us because we can make it cheaper and better. But we saw what you did with Japan with that economic warfare. Yeah, we're not going to let y'all do that to us. So we're going to be the number one buyer of your debts, T-bills and treasury notes. So if you ever try what you did with if you ever try what you did to Japan with us, we will flood the market with your debt and we will decimate your dollar. Okay? They learned from the Japan experience. Now, a lot of people don't know this. They don't see this. I have a degree in economics, so I'm a little more sensitive to seeing it. Plus, I'm all about nation building. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we as blacks, we as part of the African diaspora, and as African Americans, which are the tip of the spear of the African diaspora, we have the money, we have the education, we have the experience. Okay, we are the tip of the spear. We can easily lead to make Africa great again. We need to understand how other cultures have, done things. How is it that 6 to 8 million Jews in America dominate certain industries? Banking, legal, entertainment. Because they made a concerted effort over 100 years ago that, hey, we're going to dominate these industries because we're going to pull ourselves and our money together and we're going to do this, 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 and this, strategizing. We as blacks.
Yeah, they did the entertainment industry, so they'll never have another Hitler to control what they say about us. That's why the Jews came in entertainment over here, so they can control us on the screen.
See, and here's the crazy thing: now they use it and manipulate us, or manipulate entertainment in order to keep us blacks in our place as consumers.
Yes.
Right.
Right? You don't hear no conscious rap, right?
No.
Rap is a movement of originally a movement of the Black culture movement, and
right.
they immediately nixed that out. But no,
Yep.
no conscious rap, just that gangster rap. That's it. That'll
That's
keep
it.
killing each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're 70% of the NBA. We should own 70% of the teams,
You're absolutely right.
right? But the thing is, because you got billionaire owners squabbling with millionaire athletes, and the athletes don't want to strike enough because they don't want to lose their millions.
Yeah.
That's what it all comes down to. Now, if we were a more cohesive Black culture, not only would they be striking, we would be creating our own basketball league, right? Building our
Exactly.
own stadiums and arenas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's why I tell people about the Black Baseball League. The only way they joined the major because our All-Star game was starting to outdraw their in population. When they had the East-West Negro Leagues game was up to 50,000 people. We outdrew them. They saw that and they got scared. Said we got to join up with the blacks. It wasn't because of Jackie Robinson. It was an economic idea that Jewish guy named Branch Rookie.
It's like that for all football, baseball, basketball,
That's right. Exactly.
all
Mm-hmm.
of them, all of them, right? They understand. Wow, they're better athletes. People want to watch them more, and so that's crazy. But look, we are over the hour. I really want to thank you guys. This was a really good spirited conversation. Um, and
Yeah.
um, Mike, I will get that information to you via email this evening. And you guys have a blessed evening. Sally, I'm telling you, prepare to head west a little bit.
Okay. Thank you for
Avoid
that.
that hurricane.
Thank you for that.
Thanks for sharing. This has been very enlightening.
All right, you guys have a blessed night.
You too.
All right.
Okay.
You
Bye.
too. You take care. Both of you.